Good morning, my friends. Hey, this is Spike Mike here, and I'm here to introduce you to a little something new that I'm starting to do. It's called Wisdom Sucks. I'm going to share some stories about how wisdom came to me, and how sometimes I learned wisdom the hard way. I think that just the name Wisdom Sucks kind of it makes me chuckle a little bit because you don't gain it without a little bit of adversity and difficulty. And sometimes we're not fortunate enough to remember that stuff, and we get to learn more wisdom again. In an effort to, the main motivation for this, for me, is because I want to leave something behind. I turned 60 a few days ago, and I want to leave something for my nieces so that they can talk to Uncle Mike and listen to him a little bit here and there. Yeah, that's the deal. Wisdom Sucks is a series. I'm going to interview some of my friends along the way, ask them a couple simple questions like how wisdom has come to them, maybe tell a story about how they learned something, and maybe tell a story about how the lack of using wisdom taught them something else. With that in mind, I'll start with my first story about that. I got a lot of stories. There's been a lot of stuff. Most recently was when my home burned down. October 5th of 2021, I lost my home to fire. I was awakened at 5 a.m. by my roommate, Alan Stewart. Saved my life. He got up to go to work due to his alarm clock and saw smoke, and went and looked and saw the floor of the living room burning. Kicked my door open and woke me up, and I bounced out of the bed in my shorts and ran to the living room and tried to put the fire out. All I could think about was putting the fire out. I had all of my important stuff on an external drive on my computer. I had prepared some documents that were in a 2-drawer file cabinet. I had thought about, trying to prepare for fire, and in the moment, my first instinct was to find the fire and put it out. A couple times prior in my life, I had been involved in a fire situation like that and was able to extinguish the fire and move forward, and with cleanup efforts and so on and so forth. Well, this one, that was not possible. I was standing in my driveway with the garden hose, trying to put the fire out from underneath the floor, as my house was not on a slab, it was on a foundation. And so I'm spraying water underneath the house. It's not doing anything. I back away, and I'm standing and kind of shooting water at the front door where fire's coming out of, and I hear a couple pops to my right, and I look, and there's the fuse panel with the main power wire to the house is coming from the telephone pole. And I see the wire, and I look at the pole, and I look down, and I'm standing in a puddle of water. And I went, oh shit, and backed out of the water, got about 18 inches away and threw the hose down, heard another loud pop, and live electrical wire went right to where I was standing, in that puddle. Unfortunately, I had enough presence of mind in this instance to get out of that, and I stepped back and I stepped away, and we waited for the fire department to come and do their job and put out the fire. And I was in shock. Like, there's no other way to describe it. My emotional state throughout the remainder of this experience was shock. It took me about 3 months to really get to a place where I could start to go and move the remaining possessions that I had in the barn and stuff that was not affected by the fire, and start to really kind of move through stuff. Now, this story is about tremendous loss and adversity. And, leading up to this fire, a couple years, April 10th of the same year, my mother passed away. And I had been her caregiver for the 2 years prior to her passing, which was both extremely painful as well as extremely joyful at times, because in my mother's diminishing state, we spent a lot of time talking about her upbringing, and I learned things from her life and her adversity and her overcoming difficulty that I did not know about prior. And the reason why I was there wasn't just because her health was failing and she was nearing the end of life, but it was her wish to die in her own home and not be in a nursing facility. And, my situation was such that I was able to be there to grant her that wish. And I got to tell you that, when my mother passed peacefully and quite quickly in the last week of her life, once I saw the hearse drive away and things started to set in, I realized that I had accomplished the most important thing in my life that ever could happen. That there was nothing more important, and I was so gifted with that opportunity, even with the pain that was involved along the way and some of the arguments and, my experiences with her dementia. I'm very grateful that I was gifted with that opportunity. There's nothing in my life that will ever be greater and more important. And so digesting that feeling and that my understanding, my perspective about all of that, I'd kind of reached a place emotionally where I went, okay, so, I guess if I die now, then, I'm going to be okay. And a couple months later in August, I had the opportunity to take my band Spice Pistols on the road, opening for Agent Orange. We played 16 dates in 19 days through the Pacific Northwest to crowds that were so incredibly wonderful. And, it was an amazing experience. The guys in Agent Orange, Mike Palm, Perry Giordano, Sandy Hansen, we all became very good friends, all of us in the band. And that was another pinnacle, a wonderful experience. And then the fire happened, and the emotional duress. It's taken me over 6 months to get back to where I feel like I'm Spike Mike again. And now, things are ramping up and we're starting to get going. So, the point of wisdom from all of this adversity and the highs and lows. Oh, and I have to mention that in November, we signed a record deal with Pacific Records, which is another extreme high in my life. I've come to the understanding that I have a lot to share that others may benefit from. And, many of you may or may not know, but I'm in recovery. I've been clean. Today is June 7th of 2022. On April 1st, 10 days before my mother passed, I celebrated, a year and 10 days before my mom passed. My clean date's April 1st of 1995. So I just celebrated 27 years clean. With the help of 12-step programs and tons and tons of friends and the gift of open-mindedness and desperation. And I'm extremely grateful for that stuff. So I guess the point of wisdom is that you never know what's going to come. You never know what's going to happen. You may think that your time is done. You may think that there are going to be no further challenges. You may think that you have a secure situation. You may believe that you may believe you're in control of your life, and I'm here to tell you that control and security are illusions. It doesn't mean we don't try to establish those things and work towards them, But I have to always remember that everything can change in a moment. And the only thing I'm granted is what's right here and right now. And the friendships that I have are probably the most important thing in my life. When my home burned, I had so many people in the San Diego music community and the San Diego recovery community. People everywhere just were reaching out and helping myself and my bandmates, Alan and Doug was also my roommate, and he set up a GoFundMe that really helped out a lot. And I had so many people offer me instruments. Half of the instruments behind me in these pictures, half of those were all given to me by people in the music community, in the recovery community, and people that I hadn't even known but had seen us play. And there's been so much love come my way, and it truly reinforced my understanding in the nature of humanity, that we are good people that sometimes make bad decisions, and that resentment is a cancer that will do nothing but cause me harm. So what I want to share with you is that please try to approach your day with an open mind. Please try to remember that we do need to, as human beings, remember that we all woke up human first every day. Like today, I woke up human before I was male, before we're female, before we're any race, color, creed, before we've achieved any kind of status in whatever practices we choose. It's important to remember that we're all human first. I'm going to be doing these videos and these series at least once a week, if not more. I may establish a habit of touching base with you every other day or something. But I just want to share with y'all. I want to share with my friends and anybody who wants to pay attention, my experiences and the perspective and understanding of others, people that I know, people that are my friends, and I may do some random stuff on the street along the way. But this is the beginning of what I'm calling Wisdom Sucks. Why not share? If you want to watch, cool. One note, if you would like to, this is my channel on YouTube called Wisdom Sucks, and if you want to subscribe and you want to follow, that's great, that's cool, that's appreciated. Another part of this is that the San Diego Music Foundation runs the Guitars for Schools program. They have a partnership with Taylor Guitars where they donate guitars to schools for after-school programs to teach kids music. The guitars stay at the school, the kids have access to them, they get to use them for practice if they want at school every day. This is not unlike the music classes that I had in public schools when I was growing up, that there just isn't so much funding for anymore. So I wanted to try to give something back, and I created this video series to donate to that. You will find when I post this, there will be a link to the San Diego Music Foundation's donation page. And if you mention Wisdom Sucks when you make a donation, that would greatly help the project going forward. The only time I will ever draw any funds out of this situation will be for production costs, in the event that maybe fuel if I go out to locations and to talk to people and stuff like that. But it is my desire to help fund that program so more and more youngsters can actually get an opportunity to know the joy of accomplishing the ability to play music, to share their feelings and thoughts in music, and to spread positive vibrations throughout the world. Okay, I know it's a lofty, weird kind of thought to some people, but for me, it's important and it's my heart's desire. So I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to try to spread good. I'm going to try to do the right thing for the right reason. And I will offer to you, please be good to yourself. Take care, my friends.